Simon & Schuster AudioWorks presents Star Trek: The Next Generation.
I can't believe you would start out the show. We have to deal with this.
Yeah, I know.
I never thought that we would have to deal with this. I thought we were too good for this.
Yeah, you know,
you had to go and fuck it.
Yeah, you think, you know, you're like, I couldn't be one of these people, you know, like you see all these people.
They would never catch me for what I've done.
Yeah, I'm smarter than them, you know.
Yeah.
I'm smarter. Than
I cover my tracks.
But then they got me, you know. I said something. They sniffed me out. They clipped me. They sent me the clip, and they were like, "Is this you?"
Yep, this you. This you. They got your DMs.
Yeah.
They're flashing them on screen.
They're flashing it on screen. I'm trying to claim that they're Photoshop, but they're not.
Piano sounds. Mustard on the beat, yo.
But anyway.
That was last night, by the way, as well. He played it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to make an official apology. I made a severe and continuous lapse in judgment, and I don't expect to be forgiven. I'm simply here to apologize. I have called our viewers cryptids.
Max's views do not align with my views. He does not express the way I see things either.
I shouldn't have done that.
Apology purely from Max, not me.
I would never compare any of our viewers to Mothman or the devil, whatever, Jinganasi.
The Jersey Devil.
Jersey Devil, yeah.
Did you say Jinganasi? What are you
I don't know
about?
why I thought Jinganasi. For just that word.
The nasty devil.
Yeah. Nasty devil.
My new cryptid, the nasty devil.
It's the picture, but he's sexy in it.
Yeah.
He's sexy. It's like a sexy pose.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would
This
never...
is serious, Max. Stop laughing. You need to fucking buck up, brother.
But yeah, I as I said, I wanted to apologize. I would never do. It was a lapse of judgment. It was a haze. I saw nothingness, and I woke up after a few seconds, and I said things that I shouldn't have said. It was a different person, actually. I'm claiming that there was a different person. Some sort of entity, I think, took over me after that. During those moments when I said those things, and I washed my hands off of that entity that acted through me in those moments. And I will work on myself to never let that entity take control ever again. You have.
I got a message here from one of the viewers, and they said, "Man, and I thought Kanye West was the one who would be offending me the most this week, until Dead Ensign's most recent episode where I was personally insulted by Max."
Okay.
Hundreds of messages like this I've received.
Yeah, hundreds. The same message.
Every single one is referencing Kanye West. I don't know how many of them are genuine or how many people just wanted to make a joke about Kanye West because it's in the news this week.
That's true.
But regardless,
we
do not want to receive these kinds of messages. We want to receive. Oh yeah, I saw Spaghetti Town Boys this week as well, and I thought it was awesome. Great opinion, guys.
Oh, bad opinion, guys.
Well, boo! I hated Spaghetti Town Boys.
Yeah, you're bad. I'm going to kill you.
We want you dead because of your opinion on Spaghetti Town Boys.
That's
but unfortunately, we have to deal with the admin from this fallout.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. I like to let people know that we have since added a 3-strike policy.
Yeah.
Max is at 1 strike. I'm still at 0, as should be. I'm good at covering my tracks, as I said earlier.
I'm going to have to buy the strikes from Ben if I reach, the second strike. I'm going to have to buy... He's going to be selling the strikes to me and recreate this tax like carbon credit economy where he's getting the strikes, and I keep using mine, so I have to buy it off of him. You know.
But rest assured, if Max gets to 3 strikes, he will be off the show, and it will be just me.
It would just be bad.
It will be entirely my show, and I'll talk about whatever I want. I'll talk about Better Man out on digital this week. I'll talk about Better Man for an hour if I want to.
Go buy it.
Nobody can stop me. Go buy it.
Buy
It deserves. I know it's currently in that. This is the thing. Disney fucked us. Because they started it. They had their Disney Plus. You remember they were like, everybody wants to see Mulan, but the theaters are closed because of COVID. Well, don't worry, everybody. You can rent it at home for £16. I think it was like $30 at the time, but everybody was like, that's ridiculous. I'm not going to do that in the comfort of my own home. I don't care. And now every single movie comes out like a day after it's done in the theaters, but for like a month, it's like, yeah, but you have to pay more.
Yeah, you do.
It's like, why? Why do I have to pay triple the price?
Because but what you do is then you get your friends over. You get like 60 people in, and then when you divide that price by the number of people that are watching it, it's like barely anything, you know?
You know most of those people aren't paying you the 30p that they owe. They'll be like, I'll get you next time, and then you'll forget.
Yeah.
You'll forget about the 30p, because
you
who's
know
going to
when we
remember
saw
30p?
the Better Man? Could I get that Better Man money? Could you pay me that Better Man money?
Oh, dude, could you take 30p off of my share of this meal? Because I paid for Better Man, remember?
Yeah. I don't remember that.
I don't remember that. I never
Who's
saw
that
movie.
person that the movie is about? Because I don't know.
Yeah,
Still,
I don't know.
even
I don't
after
know. I've
watching
never
that
heard of
movie, I still don't know.
They made him a monkey. I still don't get it.
I don't get it.
Not that I saw the movie, but if I did see the movie, I didn't get it. I didn't get why they made him a monkey.
I would
And because
not.
of that, I don't want to pay.
I'm not paying you the 30p, you know.
You pay for your own damn 30p dip that you bought.
I'll kill you.
You'd be like, hey man, you owe me 30p, and then you get pizza and you're like, yo, throw on a dip, you owe me 30p. Can you
That's
throw
true.
on a garlic dip, please?
Exactly 30p worth of dip, please. Put on the
Please
little weight.
score out of the machine exactly 30 pence worth of dip.
We should pay things by weight more, honestly, when you think about it.
What are you, a fucking
Like,
greengrocer now?
You buy anything, like a car, the price depends on the weight of the car.
How much give me how much would you want that to correlate with the weight of the car?
It's like, like a car is like a ton, I guess, right?
Sure.
Something
I don't know,
like
but
that.
Sure.
So you have to, like, give enough stuff until they drive the car onto like one of those like pendulum weights.
Oh, so you
weighs
have to give a ton of
stuff.
equal stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
And
then
everything
it
is
could
pound
be
for
a
pound,
ton of
is what you're
feathers.
saying.
You know, if you really want to, it would just be a lot of feathers.
This is like financial alchemy, where everything is equivalent to everything else.
Yeah, we're going back to the roots. You know. When someone provides you a service, you put them on the weight, like the person providing the service, and then you have to pay stuff.
What denotes ownership? Like, what stops me from just going to the park and digging up like 50 pounds worth of dirt and then just giving that to a cashier for food?
Technically, that's like it's not. You can't do that because it's the landlord's like ground, right? You know what I mean? Like, you don't own the soil, right?
But that doesn't matter. But they don't know that. They don't know that. I've turned up.
They'll go, where did you get all this dirt from? And then what's you going to
It'll
say?
be like from none of your fucking business.
I don't believe you. And they get the catch pole to come over and they drag you away.
We've also got the guys with the poles to catch you now. We've gone that far back.
Yeah, it's the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I've been playing Kingdom Come Deliverance constantly for 3 days.
Did you take this whole weekend off just to play?
Yeah, it's a
Kingdom
fucking
Come 2?
awesome game.
Is it
It's
good?
so
You're enjoying
good.
it?
Yeah, welcome everybody
What
to
if
the first Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 podcast. Dead Ensigns. This is me,
I had another
Max.
question.
We'll continue. I just want to get this out of the way. And yeah, this is Ben. Continue, Ben.
What? Because you go down like the suburbs or whatever. You go past a house. Let's say it's got like a gravel driveway. You pick up one singular piece of the gravel, but you do that at every house.
Yeah.
And then you, at the end of your walk, you go into a Burger King. You say, "Give me a Big Mac." Here's a sack full of rocks. It is even heavier than a Big Mac at Burger King. I mean, a Whopper. There you go, the Whopper. Give me a Whopper. Why would they want the rocks?
No, it's company policy. You gotta do it, you know. Why wouldn't they, though? Like, they can exchange those rocks for, like, a Whopper worth of goods somewhere else, you know?
So it's forced. Transactions are forced. If somebody says, "I want to give you this bag of rocks for a burger," you can't say no, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
It's enforced. Okay, in that case... in that case, I guess it kind of works, because it's like, well, yeah, then they can just take the gravel and go give me something in exchange for this gravel. But
then what happens is, like, then one of the neighbors, because you were stupid enough to use the gravel from the same neighborhood that you were going to the McDonald's in. And they go like, "Wait a minute, I know that little tiny piece of gravel. That's from my..." And then they get the catch for one. They hung you for a Whopper. And was it worth it in the end? Was it worth it to do that?
There's no way they can possibly... No, that doesn't make any sense. The scenario is ridiculous.
Divine power of Christ will show them that this piece of gravel was owned by them, you know? Or they'll do like a thing where they tie your limbs and they throw you in the river, and if you float, then you're guilty.
Thief.
You're guilty, but when you drown, you're innocent. So at least your family then doesn't get like prosecuted, basically.
Well, would you really want to live that life where you're like, you got to watch everything? Because if somebody just takes like a little bit, then you'd have to be like, "Hey, that's worth its weight in anything."
It's like those MasterCard commercials. Like, it's like, you know, whatever, $5 for a shoe, you know. It's like,
what if
love of a family member priceless, you know.
What about poop?
Poop. Ooh, that's a good one.
Like, because I'm thinking, because it's like you would lose a lot on food.
Yeah.
You get food, you trade stuff for food, then you eat the food. At least the food gives you energy to go and get more stuff, I suppose. But could you do anything with the poop?
I guess, product? Right? So you can put it on the weight yourself.
Get a bag of poop and be like, here's a car's worth of poop
for a Whopper. Yeah, definitely. You know, and I think it's
terrible.
You could do any of it. The thing is that you will then, you know, you think, "Oh, I'll do," but like, imagine how much you would have to produce to, you know. But at least in this system, it at least you will take care of it. You know, all your trash, all your waste that you produce, you will take care of it in a way, right? Because
how do services work? How do services work?
Like I said, you weigh the person providing the service, you know?
But how much time do I get of their service?
The service. Well,
if I pay their weight for a service, how long do they do the service for? What is one of them equivalent to in time? I guess it has to be
a task, right, or something. You got to do it per task. Even in like, the thing about paying someone a wage is a new thing, you know? Like, back in the day, you would pay people for a task, you know, they performed. So there you go. We go back to that.
Yeah, but
I want you
there's still like a limit on like how long the task takes.
Yeah, exactly. So you go like, I want you to do a financial report in this Excel, you know, program. Here is your weight in shit, you know, and they have to go.
I feel like there would be an
issue.
You know? There'd be an issue with people finding the skinniest people they can, and then being like, here is your weight in rocks.
Yeah.
Be my slave forever. That's your task. Slave forever.
Oh no.
Forever servant, that's your task. And here's your weight in fucking diarrhea. And then you can't do anything because all of the transactions are enforced. They have to be put through.
Well, I guess, there's some kinks that have to be worked out, but we'll do it when we incorporate the system.
No political system is perfect.
No, this isn't political.
No economical system is perfect. You're right, it isn't political, it's economical.
It's economical, We don't do politics on this.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
But we digress. Max is incredibly sorry for his offensive comment last week.
Yeah.
If you were offended, please send us an email, and Max may send you a digital copy of Better Man out this week digitally.
I wonder how much a podcast is worth in weight, I guess. Would you have to weigh both of us?
Song? I guess it would be both of us, wouldn't it? Or maybe our equipment.
Yeah, that could be. If you have a service, you also have to pay for the weight of this equipment.
But what if the service is, hypothetically, let's just say prostitution? Would it be the weight of a person's sexual organs or their whole body?
I guess it would just be their whole body because it's part of their service, right?
But I feel like somebody would argue, like, why am I paying for your fucking calf? I'm not using it.
Okay.
And
you're right, yeah. And
you know what I mean? And that would cause issue. People would be like, well, you can't, I can't weigh a specific body part like that.
And you become a chopper, and you chop.
I can't weigh my colon.
Yeah, on
I can't weigh my mouth.
My penis.
That's another point. Your mouth is empty. You can't weigh it.
That's how you cheat. You put that's how the people
did
it back in it. They put the rocks in their mouth to make them.
And then they spit them out, and you realize too late. I got rock blowjobbed.
Yeah, no.
I paid more than was necessary for this. What's the word? Fellatio.
They put weights in their pockets and stuff. They put lead weights and stuff, and lead in their mouth to make themselves heavier. And that's when we get crazy people, because they're putting lead in their body, more lead than normal.
Before paying for somebody's service, you need to check their wrists and ankles to make sure they've not got any weighted stuff on their wrists and ankles.
You got a little flashlight. You make them open their mouth. What's going on?
You inspect their butt.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry, I just gotta do this.
Gotta make sure there's no rocks up here.
Yeah,
adding on extra
weight.
I guess it's what are you even paying for then? Though it's are you trading a rock for a rock still? Is it really that much of an issue?
Everything will work out. I feel it's more of a true system than what we have currently now. Okay, it's more of a real.
I don't know if I'd say it's honest. I think both of the current system and your proposed system have a lot of room for dishonesty. But you know what? In that system, no, you know what? How would you do stocks? How would you do financial trading? What is the weight of a stock?
I don't know.
What is the weight of a Hock-Tua coin?
I guess it's the weight of all the assets your company owns. And if
that's
you want
really heavy.
You want to subdivide
that's really
that away. And all the
heavy.
people that are also working for you, technically, right? Will be added onto the assets. So you gotta weigh all this society has developed the most advanced weights, weighing systems,
It would have to, because it would be impossible to buy a house otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It'd be how do you weigh a fucking building? It's in the ground.
Yeah. Exactly. How do you weigh a crime?
How do you weigh a crime? How do you post bail?
You post bail, There's a lot of stuff.
I think it would make for an interesting world building.
Yeah. Write a Discworld-esque book set in this world.
Maybe a short story.
Funny.
Maybe it's more of a short story.
Weight world.
Weight world. What if weight was money? Equivalent exchange land.
That's a good one. I like that within the exchange land. Perfect. But yeah,
I
anyway.
wouldn't want to live there.
You wouldn't?
No.
You wouldn't be able to
thinking about it. I don't think I would want
You're
to.
too honest of a person. You feel like you would be exploited in that society, right? That's the reason.
I would definitely worry that I would essentially get human trafficked. Yeah.
No.
I don't think it would be very difficult to do. Maybe for me because I'm like overweight, so they'd have to put way more rocks in.
Oh yeah, that's true. We can fix this. I feel like maybe there has to be some level of consent when you put, because you have to, there is the ultimate consent because you have to be put on the weight, you know?
If once you stand on the weight,
That's then the contract.
you've agreed.
You know, it's the contract. We sealed.
But then people could just tie you up and put you on the weight. Or hold you at gunpoint and be like, get on the weight.
But that's like a punishable offense in this world.
Who's going to believe you?
Like
they're your master now.
Witnesses, you know, and stuff.
They're your master now.
They're witnesses.
They'll pay them off in rocks.
And rocks and gravel.
Then if you, I guess it's like the most valuable thing is the most dense material, right?
That's true, like lead.
Yeah.
And that's the ironic, because then you have the gold lead stuff where we turn lead into gold, but then in this world we turn gold into lead.
Now lead is worth its weight in gold.
Yeah. Whoa.
Despite the fact that it's not. This really is equivalent exchange society.
It's a beautiful world.
It is. I've come around.
People wear yeah, they would have to, like, all the clothing would be very heavy, right? That's to, like, make yourself heavier. Because that's, like, the, like this is, in this world, it's like, you know, nobles back in the day where you, like, put, like, blue or, like, purple on their clothing, which is very expensive. You gotta put weights in your, you know, in your clothing and stuff to make yourself as heavy as possible. To show wealth.
What if I want to buy a movie digitally, like Better Man out this week, digital?
Yeah.
Well, what would the weight be?
You gotta pay a weight of a monkey, I would imagine, right?
What, the main
character? Yeah. How would you pay for VFX to make yourself a monkey? With weight, how much
you
weight
have
is
to pay
that?
the weight of all of the VFX artists that work on it and their equipment.
Yeah. I guess
as we've established.
I guess rock DJ has a different meaning in this world,
True.
right? Because he's I don't know.
Because he's paying with
rocks. Yeah.
This is stupid. Doesn't make any sense anymore. Not that it made much to begin with.
Anyway, we just got on a tangent, and but we watched
Max
some
is very
stuff.
sorry.
Yeah, again.
Thanks for listening to Dead Ensigns.
I don't expect to be forgiven.
No, you shouldn't.
You shouldn't. But yeah, what have you watched? Yeah. You watched something, right?
I was hoping to finish Pathfinder this weekend, but I didn't because I didn't spend as much time playing as I thought I would.
Is there?
So,
do you know for sure how much of the game you've got left?
Yeah, I'm right there. I'm right there. I just like I've run out of steam. I took I started playing Dokapon with some friends.
Oh,
and they want to play it too often, so I lost a lot of steam. And now I'm like right on the cusp of the end.
You don't remember what you were doing in the game?
I remember what I was doing. I remember everything. I just haven't got the energy. I'd start playing it, and I do some fights, and I'm like, I'm gonna take a break.
I'm gonna
watch Honora.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Starring that lady. What's her name, Max?
I need to open it up. I opened up the other movies. I forgot.
It's because you were going to talk about it last week, and then I was like, I want to see it, and you were like, well, we'll talk about it. It's Mikey Madison.
Mikey Madison.
Honora.
I liked much it. Weight? No.
She was quite small.
Yeah.
She was not very big.
Yeah, that's the issue here. But yeah, what do you think of this movie?
I liked it.
Do you think it's a best movie?
I think it's got potential. I think it's good. I haven't. Where am I at with? Hold on, let me look up the best picture nominees again to see where we're at with our
Like
with our
4,
watches.
I think.
We're halfway through, I think now.
Best movies.
Well, you've got Anora, The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, and The Substance. We've seen those.
I constantly forget that Emilia Perez is nominated.
Yeah. Especially after watching Queer this week. I was like, why is Emilia Perez here, man?
Yeah.
There's also we need to watch A Complete Unknown. Oh wait, no, and we've seen Dune. Oh, I keep on forgetting that Dune is there.
Dune is also.
Part 2 is
I
nominated.
forgot that this movie came out, but yeah.
It's weird because Dune Part 2 was really, really good, and I do think it should be nominated. But I think the fact that it's only nominated for this keeps throwing me off.
Is it only nominated for Best Picture?
I think it's also nominated for VFX.
Okay.
But the fact that it's only nominated for those things keeps confusing me.
Yeah.
Anyway, A Complete
Nickel
Unknown.
Boys.
We gotta
What's
watch
Nickel
that.
Boys
I'm still
about?
here. Nickel Boys and Wicked. Nickel Boys is supposed to be very good. I don't know what it's about, but I keep hearing people be like, "This is like one of the most overlooked films of the year."
Okay.
I have not seen it, and I haven't heard anything about it, but I've heard it's very good.
2 points.
So I will probably be checking that out for next week. I'll probably watch all of the films I've got left to watch this week. Because I've not got much else to do.
I'm still here. What was that?
I'm still standing.
I'm still here.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm still here is either. This is the foreign film for the.
Oh,
for the,
no. They're
they throw in
taking
one.
over the
They always throw
Oscars.
in. I don't even know if it's a foreign film. This is assuming because I saw
Emilia Perez is the foreign film.
Emilia Perez was the foreign film of the year.
Yeah. But
Anyway,
still have
Honora.
stuff to watch.
I liked Honora. I'm torn. I've seen how many Sean Baker films have I seen? I've seen The Florida Project, Red Rocket, and now Honora. And I think I think The Florida Project is a better movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed Florida Project a bit more. I feel.
Excuse me. Pause. You enjoy The Florida Project?
Yes, I enjoyed it. No, it's just like
You're one
more
sick
of
puppy.
a,
Let me tell you.
more of like a.
I think the
More
topic of the
happened in
Florida.
a way,
I
I
think
guess, in
the topic of the Florida Project is very interesting.
Yeah.
I think the
that's true.
setting and the characters are overlooked aspects of a large portion of America, basically.
Yeah. And
Living in the shadow of these media giants, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked Honora a lot. It's about like a big thing of like instant gratification and excess, you know.
Yeah.
All the stuff with that.
Or just like kind of like instant and hoping to, because it's like a, what's it called, like a Cinderella story, you know?
It's
Cinderella,
very
right?
it
like
is a fairy tale. It is a bit of a fairy tale. It's
It-
got the sort of down and out girl who is
Mm-hmm.
in this movie a dancer and escort.
Yeah.
Who finds what appears to be a Prince Charming,
Yeah.
the son of like a Russian oligarch,
Oligarch, yeah.
who whisks her away and shows her a life of excess and glamour, one that she could never hope to achieve, and seemingly becomes infatuated with her. But then as it goes on, it becomes more clear that even though she represented a life he wanted to continue living but had to grow out of. And unfortunately, as is another part of the movie is about, you know, abuse of the wealthy abuse of the lower class, essentially. You know, she was just another tool to enjoy, another thing to play with while living this young period in his life.
Here's some money and fuck off, you know, like not expect anything else, you know, sort of thing.
And it's like truly you're a bit part in this person's story, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah,
I've had my fun with you. Now I need to go and live my actual life.
Yeah, and the kind of how childish they are in a way, kind of amateur, in their like he's like, oh, I love you so much, like I just like I can't stop, thinking about you, it's just like completely
He's
like
very immature, but then on top of that, again with the instant gratification thing, is like he doesn't know how to like actually fuck,
yeah, absolutely.
Like his whole thing
And
is like he's just trying to come as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
He's
Who doesn't?
constantly like hitting the Benjamin, as they say.
yeah,
And like gambling and just living
'cause
life to the full.
yeah, he's using her, as like a plaything, and also
She's a toy.
he has no kind of responsibility, right, in life in any shape or form.
He's the archetypical spoiled rich child.
Yeah,
He has
and
infinite resources and no direction.
yeah, and as soon as he sees any sort of pushback or anything like that, he
runs away.
immediately like just staring at the feet, has his feet, just head down and please don't take away my toys, sort of thing. And,
I mean, he literally runs away in the film.
yeah,
They come and they try and they find out he's married Honora, this escort, and his parents are pissed off, so they send their like American side handlers, guardians of Vanya, the guy,
Van,
to go and like get him and make sure a divorce happens.
yeah.
And once that confrontation happens, he literally like runs away. He like sprints out the door, and then the bulk of the film is them trying to find him again.
Find him, yeah. And on top of that, the handlers are like themselves like an exploited part of this entire relationship.
It introduced sort of the third, like I suppose, central character to the plot, Igor. Who is, I suppose, as his name implies, almost a henchman.
Yeah, he's the muscle basically.
He is a muscle guy. He's hired to be a part of this group that just looks after Vanya. But then there's how do you feel about the relationship between Honora and Igor? Because the film has a very sad ending. It was very touching. But the final moment of the film is very it feels very sad, very disquieting.
Like I feel like the thing that like the movie's trying to kind of show for that, and like her reaction at the end is I feel like she's trying to kind of reward him at the end.
Yeah.
But the reason why she does it the way she does it in the movie is because she realizes that that's the only thing she has to give, sort of thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So and that realization kind of being boiled down and distilled into like, oh, I'm just a thing, like I'm a toy, I'm a vagina, basically.
Similar to a fairy tale. It turns out, the twist is that the man she's fallen in love with is not actually a nice guy, and instead, we're introduced to a guy who is nice, Igor. It turns out to be not even like super charming or anything. He's just normal, I guess.
He's just like a normal guy.
He's just like a normal guy who doesn't immediately treat her like shit. I mean, obviously, there is like, for lack of a better term, I guess, like assault when they meet. In that he is trying to like capture her so she doesn't run away out of this encounter. He's trying to
stop her from leaving, basically.
Yeah,
I really like that scene.
They need to force Vanya and Honora to have a divorce. They need
Yeah,
to
there
force
was,
a
I
divorce,
really like
an
that scene. It
annulment
was
or
a
something.
funny scene, I guess, in a way.
It is
you know,
funny.
where it was
It's
the way
funny.
it was-
Igor is a very funny character.
Yeah, like I really
His
liked
performance
when
is really, really strong.
yeah, when she tries to
he's up
move
for-
through him, and he
Yeah.
like gets in the way. You can feel like the actor did a really good job of like this kind of like surprise, you know, where he like, I guess I need to be like, I guess I need to stop her, you know, like he's like, I guess I need to do this, you know, like that sort of thing.
He is the guy who plays Igor is up for best supporting actor.
Yeah.
He's
And-
very good in this.
The thing I liked about it is that it's
very
like
well earned.
this kind
This
of
is Mikey
dynamic
Robinson
was that it like I guess she wasn't in that much of a danger, I guess, you know.
She
in
was. She
her-
was
like-
the danger that she felt is justified. Though, I
Yes,
think,
she
is the
she
idea.
felt in danger.
Obviously,
but,
we as the
uh,
viewer goes,
yeah.
especially as the movie goes on, we go, well, we can tell Igor seems pretty level-headed, and he
Yeah,
probably
it's like-
wasn't actually gonna. It
Yeah.
seems like he's trying to not hurt her, but the point is more that for Honora, she is in very real danger. you know?
The one I'm thinking about is that they're not like a Russian mob, you know, like they're not
No,
like
well, two of them are
the-
Armenian, aren't they?
you know,
Right.
You know, like some sort of Eastern European
Yeah.
mob. You know, it's a gang or something. It's like they're just like some guys, and they're like, we didn't expect to be doing this. Like that's what happens. You know, like they start doing this because they're not sure how else to do this. You know, like how else to get her to stop, and like they're themselves, like that's the thing. It's like another thing about this movie is like the rich use people as tools, right? They use these guys to do the dirty work of like they basically went, just do this, like they didn't say like what they told her, get them to annul the marriage, and that was the instruction they got, and it was like, how the fuck do we do this, so it's all very
the main
panicky.
thing is like there's nothing that money can't solve at the end of the day.
Yeah.
As many problems as the rich people create in these people's lives, that they will never see any true, like, what's the word, like, fucking any consequences. No real consequences for their actions because they can pay away the damages and stuff.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they want because ultimately somebody will cover it with money and it's fine.
Yeah, because
it doesn't really cover the real issue that somebody goes through, like Honora in this film.
When they even say to her like, oh, we'll just deal with this as like a green card marriage, we'll just pay you like 15,000 or whatever, and you can like just fuck off, And
but that being said, so Igor is introduced, and he is a more level-headed and regular guy who lives near Honora and everything, and the movie is trying to show he has an interest in her. He has an interest in Honora, I think because their initial encounter showed her strength, I guess,
yeah.
And by the end of the film, Honora has lost everything. They've done the annulment. They've gone all the way back to Nevada because they got married in Las Vegas. Went all the way back to Nevada. They got it annulled. Everything that Honora had, all of the moment of glamour and richness, has been taken away. She's left alone. And Igor has to look after her for like a day. The rest of the day. And in the end, it turns out he did manage to swipe the ring that Honora was given by Vanya for marriage,
which makes him a criminal.
Wedding ring,
and he should
just
be
make him a criminal,
prosecuted
and he's in the wrong.
He's in the wrong, and it's
So
a bad end.
Honora starts to become sort of thankful, and I think it's she starts to thank him with her body, but when he tries to kiss her, that's when she like pushes back.
Yeah,
she doesn't want because it's in a prostitution way, isn't it? It's like,
yeah,
it's not about kissing and stuff, is it? It's about the sex, the transaction, and she keeps pushing him away up until then because she doesn't want to be in a relationship with this guy, you know. But she eventually breaks down, and that's where the movie ends. He holds her while she's crying in the car in the snow, and then the movie ends. I like this movie. It was very it was a very touching ending. I felt sadder than I thought I would at the end.
Yeah.
I think the one thing I would say about this movie, and I think narratively this film's really strong. Performances are really great. Editing and the cinematography is like any other Sean Baker film, you know, the way it's cut and everything. It cuts kind of abruptly at the end of scenes, you know. You don't get any like transition where it's like character leaves a room and then you cut and they're entering somewhere else, you know. It's just kind of like, bap, next scene. My main thing is that it takes too long to get going. I think there's quite a lot at the beginning. The movie's quite long. It's like
there's a lot of
2.5 hours
setup of their
there's
like
a lot of
relationship,
setup of Vanya
you know,
and Honora, and I don't know. I'm not a filmmaker. I couldn't say for sure, but my main thing was like I don't think there needs to be that much, especially since the focus of the film is them trying to find Vanya and everything, you know.
Yeah, he kind of stops being a character in a way. Like he disappears, literally, like disappears from the movie for the like 2/3 of it or something like that. Yeah. And
so I don't know if that first act where leading up to the marriage and everything needs to be as long as it does. But I mean, it's not like it doesn't work. I guess it's just, you know, it would be my one complaint is the film feels longer than it needs to be.
I feel like I guess the reason. I don't know, like, I do feel like the narrative is very, I don't know, like, natural in a way, you know? Like, I feel like a lot of the stuff that happens in the movie isn't really, you know, for the sake of the narrative even, because, like, even the way they find him is, he goes back to the same fucking strip club.
It is interesting they didn't check that first.
Yeah, like, and it's because he goes there at a certain point, and one of the dancers calls Honora, and that's how they find out. So he goes there at the end of the night, so it's like the last stop that he makes, right?
That was one thing I felt they kept going to places, and the people would be like, yeah, he was here like 20 minutes ago, and then they wouldn't find him for like hours and hours, and it's like, damn, he gets around quickly.
Yeah, he just gets Ubers everywhere, you know.
He just gets.
He has the money, but it's like it's very chaotic. I really like that. It's like it's very like the guy that's
very funny.
Like the main handler. He's just like you can see like how panicky he is about this entire situation.
The dialogue is very funny.
How distressed he is in the fact that he just like. He's so reliant on his connection to this.
He can't lose this job. He needs to get this to work. So if he loses it, he's already like ruining his relationship with his family just to do this work at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he leaves a christening to come and do
like
this,
in the middle
to come
of
and
it,
track down this little fucking petulant rich kid, uber ridiculously rich child.
Yeah, like
but all the dialogue's very funny. All of these guys that are supposed to be like evil henchmen almost.
That poor guy, that
normal.
That
the guy who gets his nose broken.
And he's just passing out for 90% of the movie. Like, it's so good. He's just
it's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's definitely on my upper end of films that I think should be considered. I guess. Not that the actual reward itself. I think the nomination is the most important part. But
true. Yeah.
Outside of that, it was good. Honora, I enjoyed it. I liked it.
Yeah, it's good.
I think I liked it more than Red Rocket, if we're going to talk about Sean Baker films. Yeah. But I think I prefer the Florida Project, but for different reasons, you know. I think Honora might be a more what's the word? More like marketable film, I guess.
I guess, yeah.
Like the Florida Project is very very dire, you know.
Yeah,
And it's about a very specific, very sad thing in America, whereas Anora is much broader and something that people can not understand better, but like, I guess it's more palatable, maybe.
I guess, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It still has a lot of like, gruesome like sex basically in this, like
And they
I
didn't
don't
have
know
an
if-
intimacy coordinator,
Oh,
so
well.
film cancelled.
Yeah.
They get it off of the best picture list. It's
Yeah.
evil now.
Exactly.
But you know what isn't evil? The Pope.
The Pope is not evil at all.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead, he's a bit of a conspiracy nut. It feels like the Pope.
Are you what? What did you say?
A conspiracy nut. He seems to like his conspiracies.
Yeah, well,
This Pope in
the
Congo.
church is a very secretive.
They
The deeper you
are.
go, the more secretive it becomes.
They love intrigue.
Yeah. And politics, and stuff like that. It's all there.
We also
But, yeah.
watched Conclave this week. I wanted to watch Conclave, and I thought since I was watching Anora and Max had already seen Anora before this episode, I thought, well, why don't we talk about Conclave as well? Let's knock some more best pictures out of the field here, you know?
Yeah, we have.
Let's keep it going.
Yeah.
Let's keep it going. A Conclave. Ralph Fiennes. He is up for, I think, best lead actor in a film at the moment because of Conclave. Is Stanley Tucci up as well? I know Isabella Rossellini is up, but Isabella Rossellini being up is interesting because she's not in too much of the film.
No, she's not.
She does have some very good scenes, but
Yeah.
it's all. I mean, to almost the point of the film, it's all very male driven, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And she's in like 4 scenes in this movie, and
Yeah.
the more of a supporting actor would be like Stanley.
I suppose
Tucci,
she's
I
I suppose she's in a lot of scenes, but there's only like 3 or 4 scenes in which she's
talks, She has
talking,
lines.
doing something, for the plot. Because I get to the point of the nuns in the church almost is that they're not supposed to be seen or heard.
Yeah, she literally says we should be invisible, but I have to say something.
Conclave. What did you think of Conclave, Max, by Edward Berger?
I liked it. It was interesting to kind of see. I would imagine. I don't know. I hope that it's kind of like the portrayal of the ritual, right? Of creating of picking out the Pope,
electing, I suppose.
Electing a new Pope,
the papacy.
And I hope it's kind of, they did their research and that's what this is interesting to see that side of the church, I guess, but yeah, all the performances were great, and the kind of cinematography and just like
those
the
lovely
thing,
locations.
yeah, the thing
they film
about
on.
I don't know is that if the church is as open and then what I mean, like as open than in this movie, open-minded.
Open in what way?
You open-minded, about things, because this movie kind of touches on that idea of like moving forward with like acceptance of the other.
I mean, this is a movie about an election. You know, it's a political movie, but it's about theology. It's supposed to mirror sort of how we see our own elections and stuff, because there are many people with lots of there are conservatives within the church in this film, and there are liberals in the church within.
They literally called them,
and they're all trying for different things, and it tends to be that the people who want to change things for the better, like Stanley Tucci's character, they don't want the role though, because it's too much responsibility. Whereas people who want to change it for their own image are the ones who really want it. They're the ones you have to look out for, because they're the ones who The ones who really want it have ulterior motives, you know.
Yeah. Exactly.
But Stanley Tucci is up for Best Supporting Actor in the film as well.
There you go.
But yeah, it's about Ralph Fiennes. He is the dean, right? Is that that's the correct term in the film?
I think so. Like he's the
the
head
dean.
of the like he gets picked as the person that will head the ceremony, basically. Yeah, because
the Pope has died.
Because he felt like he was like going to die, the Pope. So and he picked
he felt like he was going to die, and Ralph Fiennes' character wanted to leave. He wanted to like go and be a minister somewhere instead because he was having trouble with his devotion. You know, he was having issues with prayer, as he says in the film.
Yeah.
And he
prayer dysfunction. He had prayer dysfunction. They call him
praerectile, maybe
praerectile dysfunction.
Maybe he had rectory dysfunction.
That's a good one.
Your rectory, like a rectory in a church.
Yes,
he wanted to leave. Pope said, "Nah, sorry." Pope dies. Now they have to elect a new pope. What follows is a lot of intrigue. It's Ralph Fiennes is trying to work out a lot of mysteries in this film.
Without seem like he's doing anything, you know, like he is trying to kind of because they get when they do the actual ceremony, they actually isolate themselves. Like all the cardinals, they isolate themselves, and they can't have contact with like the outside world while they're picking the Pope.
They need to make this decision on their own.
So they're like all trying to so he's trying to investigate this like shady stuff that he kind of notices, right, without external help in a way. But he still gets external help, but it's like kind of underhanded, like he shouldn't be doing it, you know?
He's caught between complete and utter like what's the word, like a lack of unbias, and also still wanting to progress it within a certain image. You know, he doesn't want to let the church go backwards, essentially. The vaping cardinal in this movie.
Yeah, that was funny. Did he vape? Like I was like literally.
He keeps vaping. That's his thing. Yeah. But that's kind of like the hypocrisy of that character, is that he's the traditional one. He's the conservative traditionalist, like guy who wants to go back to we should all be speaking Latin. We shouldn't be as progressive as we're being with like homosexuals and other religions and stuff.
Yeah, we're at war with Islam.
We're at a religious war with Islam and stuff. Yeah. But at the same time, he's getting out. He's hitting the vape pen all the time.
Yeah,
he's clearly so enjoying those little indulgences that they're allowed to have nowadays.
Yeah, exactly.
But obviously they don't, because the Catholic Church is obviously at the forefront of everybody's attention all the time. It's one of the biggest religions in the world, of course, and they don't want to have a scandal, you know. With the election of a new pope, they need to show like a united front, essentially. And Ralph Fiennes is constantly caught in the middle of like just being unbiased and letting people vote and then move on. But at the same time, it's like, hey, this cardinal, the Pope dismissed him like 2 hours before he died, and we don't know why. And he's like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And this cardinal, there's a nun who seems to have an issue with him. Why is that? Oh, it turns out he fucking got her pregnant 30 years ago or whatever. But he was 30 and she was like 19, and it's probably not good for him to
for the image. Yeah,
and it's very it's all very not catty, but it's very like there's a lot of like drama is very influential on it, you know. Ralph Fiennes says to that the African cardinal that it's like, he's like, do you think I could still be Pope? And he's like, no, not because I don't think you can improve, but because they've all scene, even just that little outburst that happened is enough for everybody to immediately drop you.
They already
and it does.
made
And
up
the
their
next
mind
time,
as soon as they saw it. Yeah.
the next time they write the ballots, he has no votes immediately. And he was the front runner before. He had like
An
50 votes.
implication was enough. And a tiny little doubt was enough.
Because they're all scared. Because obviously the Catholic Church biggest fucking story scandal ever is that they were all fucking starboarding diddlers and just moving them around. Every time there was an issue, they'd just move them around to
shuffle them.
So they're very wary now. But but I digress. The film more follows closely that one of the plot lines in the film is that a secret cardinal has turned up that nobody knew existed, who the Pope ordained secretly using some secret ritual that they have.
It's I think it's like in secret. I think I literally I think.
And it turns out after everything, there's too much to detail in the plot. Exactly. Obviously, there's lots of intrigue. You have to watch the film yourself. This Pope that turned up from nowhere, from Kabul, who has been ministering in secret in a country that's not very friendly to Catholics, and has been going all over the world during and
taking part in
spreading the faith during wartime and stuff, in these really harsh places.
Conflicts.
Makes a very impassioned speech at the end about war and the church moving forward and not engaging in that way, not engaging in hate. This minister ends up winning, and spoilers for Conclave. This was really unexpected. I really didn't think it was going to go this way. That minister from Kabul is intersex.
Yeah.
They were under the impression that they were a man the whole time, but years ago they went to see a doctor, and it turns out they had uterus and ovaries.
Yeah.
And they were going to get it removed. They were going to have a hysterectomy, but that the Pope knew about as well. The previous Pope knew about all of this, and they were going to have a hysterectomy, but decided not to in the end because they still feel that God made them how they are,
Yeah.
They have faith that this was God's plan, essentially. Mm-hmm. And that now, them becoming Pope, despite the fact that they, are in a bit of a gray area here where it's like they're intersex, this would be like insane for the new Pope to be this way.
Like that's the thing. It's like it would be like what is going to happen after this, if this gets out, that's the thing. It would leave you with a lot of questions of how the world would react basically to such thing.
But that's the sort of message at the end, is that Ralph Fiennes just kind of, he allows it to go ahead, because I think that's why, even though Isabella Rossellini does not have a lot of scenes in this movie where she is like present and talking to other characters, she's still crucial to the film, because the nuns in general are supposed to be like this, or rather the women in the faith are supposed to be this unseen and unheard class, that take care of everything else,
Yeah.
And despite that, they're underrepresented at this level. It's still. Excuse me. The film is about, obviously, these old men, old religious men, varying levels of conservative, trying to decide the future of everybody else, essentially, in the way that they believe. So even though it's against doctrine, I suppose it would be better if this person continues anyway,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like the question of like perceiving someone,
Yeah, definitely.
Like being perceived in a particular way. It's like, so what, Like I've been a man my entire life, and what is this different now? Suddenly that this, I didn't know.
Just because of organs.
Like it's but just because of like some, like that's the thing. Is like the big thing is that he didn't know. Yeah, like that's the entire time he didn't know, and he lived his life the way he did, and so suddenly would that change the way he would have to go on with his life? It's like, it's a very interesting question about in general about like
It is. And it's very unexpected. It really was not expecting it to go that way. I think the movie sets up that they're gonna win early on. They appear out of nowhere, and they have this like. For some reason, they're like creeping up and up. Every time there's a ballot, they get just a couple more votes every now and then. You know, it does kind of like send the signal to the viewer that they're gonna win. So you kind of have this understanding like. They've got some ulterior thing going on you don't know about. They're mysterious, you know. But I was not expecting that to be the thing, you know. I was expecting that to be the twist of it. But I liked it. It was cool. It was a good, interesting way to take it.
Yeah, I liked it. It was. I liked a lot of kind of wisdom, I guess, that the movie kind of talks about, you know, in general.
Yeah.
And in terms of faith, you know, and the philosophy of I feel like, you know, it's like, you know, the church, even though is like a very old institution and kind of, you know,
it's conscious.
Old. It still had wisdom in a way, you know, the people that, you know, existed in these institutions did have a lot of time to think and come up with things to think about and the ways to kind of think about them, you know, and
ways to view life, essentially.
Exactly.
And the way that humanity progresses.
Yeah,
it's and the way it exists now does need to change, because before it was a force of control as well.
Yeah,
you know, it was a force of power. But now, although it has power, obviously the Catholic Church still has power.
Yeah,
it's a very different kind of power now, you know. And it needs to change to keep up with people. Obviously, it still needs to somewhat reflect the way society is going, just as much as it tries to influence society, you know.
Yeah.
But I liked it. I think it's cheating to set a movie on location in a bunch of old like chapels and stuff. I think that's cheating.
Why?
Because all you have to do is like put the camera anywhere,
and it's just will look good.
You can do fucking whatever. You can literally just put the camera anywhere you want, and it will look good because they're designed in such a way to be beautiful locations from any angle. I think that's cheating, man. I think that's bullshit, and I think this movie should be stripped of the idea that it looks nice.
Yeah, they should do it, and they should put bad lighting. But no, you put the lighting, and it looks even more beautiful now. Like, let's make this area look uglier, and you just can't, because it's like all of these buildings are art. You know, all of them were beautifully
they
designed.
Were made to be beautiful buildings. So you just put the camera fucking anywhere you want, and it looks good.
Except for the fucking hotel that they're in. They're like the room where I was like, this looks like marble everywhere. It's just like, it looks very cold and kind of, I guess, isolate. I guess it is within theme, I guess, in a way.
It was the most modern location as well.
And it feels the coldest and kind of the most isolated of all compared to like the rest of the art, like the old architecture in a way.
I think I can see Conclave winning, only because it seems like lots of people like Conclave. I don't think it's the best film out of these, at least from the ones I've seen personally. It's very good. It's really really good. I can see why it's nominated. But I feel like it's gonna win more because it just seems like a film everybody really loves at the moment.
I feel like it's not going to win because
Emilia Perez was that much better.
Yeah, because you can watch it on Netflix and it's easy for all the people on
the academy,
on the academy
board,
to
the voters,
put Netflix on.
To just get their controller, go beep, da-dum. Penis to vagina.
It's like, oh, beautiful.
Oh, this is good stuff.
It's been really good in terms of like, you know, a lot of good stuff on here, and it makes Emilia Perez kind of every time I kind of watch another movie out of this, I'm like, why is this movie
It really
here?
is like, why is Emilia Perez here, man? Every single film I've watched so far in this Best Pictures nominations, every single one has been like, What the hell's Amelia Perez here?
Yeah.
And even more so with the other film we watched this week, Queer.
Yeah.
Where it's like, look, I don't think this film's perfect. It's very
No.
strange and fucking weird and messy. I loved it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you told me that William S. Burroughs was the guy who also wrote Naked Lunch.
Yeah. Because it's
because
very
watching
like,
it, it's
yeah.
like it's like, oh, this is the same
sort of even
setting.
setting, yeah, like a weird, like they're not weird, right? It's a real city, I think.
I think it's set in. I think it starts in Mexico.
Mexico, right?
And then
it's
they travel into South America.
yeah, and
But they've got that same thing of like a guy addicted to a substance who has run out of a geographically northern hemisphere place to a southern hemisphere place where they engage in
weird
unconventional sexual activities.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
in a strange like thing where it's like you're not really sure how this guy gets money.
Yeah,
Where
I
the
know.
hell
I
does
was a
this guy
little bit like, oh, I wonder if they're
Cash.
going to show us how he gets. But I think at the same time, I thought, like this, the main character is very weird in this movie. I feel like I'm not really sure if I don't really feel like I feel sad, for the character, but at the same time, I feel kind of, come on, man, like he like there is like little bits that are shown of this person where when he's in that cafe with some random person, he's like like screaming at him, like he's just like berating him and like screaming at him and telling him to fuck off and stuff, and you're like, who is this guy? Like,
he has a strange and stagnant life in Mexico.
Yeah,
he's
like
addicted to heroin, so he can't live in the U.S. because
is he a
it's
criminal?
outlawed.
Is he like there's a lot of questions, right? The soundtrack in this movie is so weird too.
I love it.
Like,
I love it. That was another thing,
fucking
dude.
Smell Like Teen Spirits is so funny, but it's like
What
it fits.
was-
It's great.
Was Luca? Were they the crew? There's a lot of overlap between this and Challengers, and they both come out in the same year. They both have the same screenwriter between them.
Okay.
They're both scored by Trent Reznor.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a weird overlap between the two films. They both came out like within a year of each other. It's interesting. It's very. I don't know. I don't think it's important. It's just interesting. Like, are they having back-to-back meetings about Challengers and Queer at the same time? Like, okay, we got 2 hours allotted to talk about Challengers, and then 2 hours allotted to talk about Queer.
Yeah. A lot of movies.
I like this film a lot. Again, not to harp on the Academy stuff too much, but it's crazy that not only did Challengers not get anything, but Queer also got nothing, and then Amelia Perez is nominated for like 11 awards.
I'm telling you, it's on
What a
Netflix, so it's
fucked up
easy to
year,
watch,
man.
and
Well,
you can
but
you
you
have
say-
the,
dude,
you have
you
the
say
three,
that.
3 times. You can put it on 3 times speed on Netflix.
You say that, but a Netflix movie has yet to win an award, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Netflix has yet to win an Oscar for one of the films that they've distributed.
Didn't they All Quiet on the Western Front? Didn't they make that? And
That didn't win
that
Best
wins-
Picture.
What?
That wasn't Best Picture.
Yeah, I know, but at least it got like
It
nominated.
was nominated, yeah. They've
Okay.
had, I'm saying they've got stuff nominated. They've got
Okay.
Amelia Perez nominated, but they have yet to win. Unless there's something I'm forgetting, I'm pretty sure Netflix has yet to win an Oscar for a film that they've distributed. You know,
I don't know. We'd have to check
But
that.
hey, maybe it'll be Amelia Perez.
Maybe it'll be Amelia Perez. But yeah,
I loved Queer. Queer was a lot more cerebral than I thought it'd be. I was not familiar with the work beforehand, the book. And I mean, I'm still not. It's not like I've read it. After watching the film, I haven't read it. But I enjoyed it a lot. Daniel Craig is fantastic in it.
Yeah, it's insane that he like basically kind of ripped off like James Bond. He's like, fuck this shit. Like, I'm not doing this shit anymore.
You know what it feels like he's doing in a lot in the film? This is the closest I've ever seen another performer, I think, give like a Nicolas Cage style performance.
Yeah,
In a good
little
way.
bit.
In a good
Yeah.
way. I don't
He's
mean that
very
in like
kind
a,
of
he's crazy and
eccentric.
wacky in this film,
Yeah.
but he's really expressive
Yeah.
in an interesting way. In an interesting way that I think works really well. But yeah, his performance is great. But then beyond that, I love the set design in this film.
Yeah,
I love
this is
the
like
I love the cinematography.
I don't know if there were miniatures combined.
There
or
are
something
lots
like,
of miniatures, and that was my next point I was going to say.
Yeah.
Is I love the amount of miniatures in this film.
Yeah, there was
because
like,
there's a lot of
cities
like
and stuff, right?
there's a lot of shots of like aerial shots of like cities that don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Like they don't look like that anymore. They don't look like these nice new bustling little like towns in South America and Mexico and stuff.
Yeah, it's like the 70s or something, right?
I'm pretty
like
sure it's
the
supposed to be the 70s.
or like
1950.
50s, yeah, even earlier, yeah. Because the planes, if you look at the planes, they are like much older, yeah.
But it's about he's got a very stagnant life. He's addicted to heroin. He just kind of like he's a barfly. He just goes between like he just walks around the streets of Mexico City, going from bar to bar, trying to like sleep with guys. But then he becomes infatuated with a guy.
Yeah, like
Oh,
a
fuck.
younger,
No,
quite
goddamn
much younger.
Now people are gonna. I have the Wikipedia open, and I said infatuated of my own accord, but I'm looking now, and like this is the exact same way they've worded it.
Oh,
And now if
no.
anybody listens to this, they're gonna think I'm a
Oh,
hack.
you're a
who's
hack.
just-
You're a
I'm like one of
hack,
those
yeah.
YouTubers who are like, queer analyzed. In 1950, William Lee is an American expatriate living in Mexico City, passing time by bar hopping and indulging in sexual activities with younger men. I'm going to hide it now because I don't need it open because I remember the plot. Because I watched it today. I watched it like 3 hours ago.
Well, okay.
Anyway, fuck, what happened? I can't remember.
It's
No, I'm
you know,
kidding.
like he like follows him around.
Yeah,
kind of like,
he's very interested in him. He can't tell if he's gay or not because he's hanging out in a lot of the same circles and places.
yeah.
But he's also hanging out with women, so he can't tell. He's
he
like,
doesn't
is
know
this
if
guy...
he's queer, basically.
Yeah, he doesn't. He is a big thing about being queer in this film, you know, and
Yeah.
identity.
Yeah.
And I think a large part of it is that he is like a younger him.
Mm-hmm.
Olaturn is the guy's name, and he a lot of the times he is dressed similarly to Daniel Craig's character, and positioned in a way that you're supposed to look at them and go like they almost look like father and son, you know,
Yeah, which is
weird because they have sex in the film.
yes, exactly.
But I don't think they're supposed to be like father and son. I just mean that he's supposed to be reflective of him, you know. There's a lot of like, what's the word? Like they're like the Ouroboros and stuff at the end and stuff. There's a lot of like, I can't think of the word, but there's a lot of imagery like that, you know, where it's like they share a lot of experiences and. They even used like the same language. An early point, there's a dream sequence where Daniel Craig is like you know, looking at a naked woman and is gonna have sex with her and stuff, and she's like, "I thought you were queer," and he says, "I'm like a disembodied person or something, right?"
Yeah.
I'm disembodied.
I'm not queer. I'm
queer.
I'm
I'm
disembodied.
just disembodied.
Yeah.
And Olatun's character has the same line at the end when they've had this, they've drunk this telepathic root and are communicating with each other, and he asks, he tells him, "You're not queer, are you?" And he says, "No, I'm just disembodied. I'm not queer. I'm disembodied." But this movie is way more cerebral than I thought it would be. I really wasn't expecting it to start becoming as like surreal as it was in a lot of places with its dream sequences. And
The thing is that like a lot of the dream sequence, they to kind of make sense in terms of like they appear when a person is like within is drunk or passed out. Like then they don't appear in the world, like the real world, right? They appear as apparitions or whatever, you know, within an altered state of mind when a character is under an altered state of mind. But yeah, I do find it like it's a incredibly sad ending to like
It's a
the entire
very
conclusion is very sad. Like
yeah,
with
yeah. It's very depressing, but
yeah,
in like a cosmic way. There's no literal like. I guess he does get old and die at the end, but it's presented in such like a strange, like ethereal fashion, you know, in like an existential way.
yeah, because he literally like after all these years, he's he comes back to this like
The Mexico City.
Mexico City, and lays down in the bed that he like would
Yeah.
would spend time in with his partner, and then he just dies. Like it's like he comes back to that moment in his last moments. It's so like sad, to think that like all this time, because he's like very old, right? In that moment, like there's been years between that time he spent with this younger man to the moment he died, and none of that was, something that he came back to, that gave him an alternative,
Yeah.
And it's just in general, like the way he talks about, like when he's like trying to kind of weasel out of him, like, are you queer? He's like, like he's like, what they say that like, we're all a part of this big thing,
Yeah.
but sometimes that big thing doesn't want to be part of you, It's like,
Well,
yeah,
it's a big. He is. There's a lot of like issues and like miscommunications and stuff.
Yeah,
because he wants to know about him in a way, in an indirect way, to the point where they go and track down like a fruit that bestows or a root that bestows telepathy.
Yeah.
On you, and
he literally like, it's ayahuasca, right? It's like they literally try to find ayahuasca.
No, it's not ayahuasca.
It is ayahuasca.
No, they have a line where they use the line ayahuasca to get in with that lady, but it's not ayahuasca that they're drinking. I think it's a different thing.
Ayahuasca is the drink, and the I think yaga is the root, the plant.
Did I misunderstand that? I was under the impression that it was like.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia article right now, and it says.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah,
I think I misunderstood what it meant.
Think the idea. I think that the movie is grounded, I guess, in a way that it isn't like something completely foreign.
Well, because they were talking
like,
about. Never mind. It doesn't matter. You are correct. I'm wrong here.
but
either way, yeah.
Yeah, instead of like his inability to communicate, he's able to he's trying to substitute that through that drug, right? This telepathy drug, right? And ayahuasca just having a trip, right? And then he finds out things, then realizes that maybe he's not able to connect, this person as much as he wanted to, right? And there's like this I don't know if this is a subplot that I'm kind of reading too much into, but like the young man, he talks about like he starts by saying like it's like a faded conversation. You have these scenes where he's caressing him, but through like a projection, right? It's like a projection that he's doing it through. He's not actually caressing him, but he talked about like how he's like part of like intelligence, like American intelligence, like working in American intelligence and stuff. And then the movie ends with him doing like he comes back to Mexico City, and he talks about how Allerton, he came back with an American colonel, like a soldier.
He went away with an American colonel. He left to go to South America with a colonel, and then never came back.
Exactly.
He was gone down there forever, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So, and is it trying to imply that he was like investigating that stuff himself and kind of came back to the American and was like, oh, we could use this stuff as for army, you know, like it's like, or you know, it's I don't know, it's
I'm not
a
sure.
very it seems
It feels like the kind of film I need to see
it.
again and see what I can pick up on a second time around, you know.
Yeah, but
It was
yeah,
good. I liked it.
it's a
I really enjoyed it.
beautiful film in terms of like the settings, you know,
Very
and
nice.
stuff. Like, yeah,
Luca Guadagnino, you have been wronged this year, I think. You've been not recognized for 2 great films,
yeah.
and I'm sorry. And I'm so sorry.
We can't do anything about it, you know.
I think we can. We should do a write-in campaign for challenges.
Yeah, we could get our viewers to do it.
I think challenges would be the easier one to sell.
Yeah,
I like queer, but it's like, you know, it's more strange and cerebral. Challenges is a bit more straightforward. He had sex with his wife, you know,
he had sex.
and then he was like, the rivalry's back on.
Yes,
Now
And
I want
then-
to have sex with you.
yes, we should just have sex.
Because
without
tennis is
her.
like a game of sex.
Yes, because it's back and forth.
The back and forth and back and forth. And both of
and
the
back-
guys are going,
Yeah. Yeah,
I like that because it feels very intentional in challenges.
yeah.
Like their
true.
grunts are very like distinct from each other and both have like a very top bottom sexual sort of connotation to them, which I think is good. I like challenges, man. Challenges.
Yeah,
are good in
Challenges
this
was
movie.
great. It
love
was.
it.
I feel Challenges is more approachable. Like you said, I think it's like I think
And it's
this
also
movie is
another one with a fucking great soundtrack. By Trent
Exactly.
Reznor, man. Another,
You know.
let's get Trent Reznor on more movies, man. Fuck 9 Inch Nails. I don't think I've ever listened to a 9 Inch Nails album. I've heard like songs here and there. I don't know anything about Trent Reznor, but man, I love his soundtrack on Challenges.
I want to know it now. Is this another Ben listens to all the Beatles? He's gonna listen to all the 9 Inch Nails albums, one by one. I think they also did the Quake soundtrack. I'm pretty sure. Well,
I
whatever.
wouldn't know about that.
Watched a lot of movies. I've been
We watched a
playing
lot of
Kingdom
movies
Come
and it's
Deliverance.
It's time for more movies.
and more movies, and we'll try watch it. We got Complete Unknown 1,
I'm Still Here,
2,
Nickel Boys,
3,
and Wicked.
4. We got 4 movies left.
I don't know about Wicked. Wicked is a very
know.
ugly looking film.
I don't know. It's just a musical. I might watch it if you don't want to watch it.
I'll watch it. I'm gonna watch it. I'm just saying.
sounded like you
the trailer
were in
and
pain.
the images and clips I've seen. It's very ugly.
Maybe it's just... I don't know.
Compositing's not good. We'll see. We'll watch it. We'll
see.
come back next week.
We'll
That
come
was
back.
the big. Dude, Twitter news.
Oh, God.
This is the most innocuous thing, so it doesn't really matter. I'm not saying this with any sense that it does matter. I'm just bringing it up because it's relevant. There was a post of somebody who's like somebody who is a cinematographer.
Yeah.
Big ass post being like quote tweeting some guy who was like, "Oh, the new Spider-Man movie looks like shit, and the old one looks nice." You know, the lighting is better in the old one. The lighting in the new one is bad. Big ass thread where she's like, here's the reason why it's different nowadays, and she gives all these reasons. Doesn't explain why it's bad now, other than ultimately it's like they just want it to look that way. Who cares?
Yeah.
And it's like, I think everybody understands that evidently they want it to look. If they didn't want it to look that way, they'd make it look different.
Yeah.
Instead of looking like that, but it still looks bad. You know, it still kind of looks. Still kind of looks like ass, regardless.
Maybe it looks bad in motion, you know, like that's the thing. I don't know, like it's hard to say for me because I haven't even watched many clips from it, so I can't even say.
Wicked?
Yeah.
Well, the big thing with Wicked is that you'll see a lot of bloom.
Oh, okay.
The lighting is very like flat and bright. You'll see. We'll watch it this
it's all
week.
the details. I don't know.
You'll see. We'll watch it this week, man, and we'll get
See
back
all the
to it.
green on the actress.
On Elphaba's face.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, I keep saying it Elphaba. I think it's supposed to be Elphaba.
I
Like
don't
quick.
know.
Elphaba.
We can ask
Elphaba.
Google to tell us.
I don't know anything about Wicked.
ChatGPT, how do you say this?
I know that one song that goes... I
don't know any.
Gravity.
Is
It's
it
like
Sinking in the Rain?
No, that's a different one.
Fuck. Is it the producers?
It'll be interesting because from what I understand, the first part of Wicked is where all the good stuff is.
Well,
And this movie is the first part of Wicked.
and
So we'll see what it's like in a
win
year or two when they do Wicked Part 2.
it's gonna win an Oscar, and then they're gonna, for the second part, they're gonna do from an award-winning
Yeah.
part 1. Here comes part 2, and then it sucks, and then it's like people are gonna be
It
like,
really...
"You lied to me."
It will be Joker all over again.
Joker Avadu,
It will be Wicked Folly Ado.
Folly Ado.
Wicked Folly Ado.
There's 2. Craziness of 2 or whatever. Falling in love 2 or whatever, right? It's like, that's what it means. Folly
Crazy
Ado.
Rich Asians?
Yes.
Huh?
Joker, but Crazy Rich Asians.
A Complete Unknown. I don't know if we can watch it. Is that still in the
I
theater?
don't know. But I haven't seen it
I might not be
anywhere.
able to watch that one yet.
Timothy
it
Chalamet is
still-
really
I mean, it's still
making
playing
sure.
at the Odeon near me, apparently. Can I see it tomorrow? Maybe I'll go see it
You
tomorrow.
just doxed yourself.
Oh,
the
fuck.
it's
There's
the
only
only
2
Odeon.
Odeons in the entirety of England. Fuck.
No, it's the only one that's playing right
I
now.
could go see it tomorrow, but I don't really want to go out and see it. It's also a James Mangold film. I'm kind of like, I don't know, like a huge James Mangold.
I
fan.
can't stand Timothy Chalamet.
You
That's
know,
That's the
Logan?
reason. Logan.
and The Wolverine,
Yeah.
and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Oh yeah, that
Those
was
are James Mangold films. And now
I
he's got
guess
a Complete Unknown.
maybe he got better with time. You gotta give people some time, to get better. I don't know, man.
I haven't seen most of them. I'm not saying he's a bad director. I'm
You
just
gotta
saying I
watch
saw...
it so you can get the cred that you watched all the best picture movies, and then
I'm
you can
just
go,
saying-
this one was the best.
I saw The Wolverine and I saw Logan, and I gotta be honest, The Wolverine is better. He goes to Japan. They do that fight on top of the bullet train, man.
Yeah, and then he goes both hands. 'cause
Yeah, he
he's
does
a
the
fucking
do the
idiot.
joke where they're jumping to go over the things. Then he sees a head and he's like, "Oh, if I pretend to jump here, the guy in front of me will jump and get hit by a sign." So he goes like he pretends to jump, and the other guy goes, "Whoop!"
Wow, what an
And
awesome movie!
It's got the
Amazing.
Silver Samurai in it as well. Silver Samurai is cool.
I guess I didn't like that movie at
Why
all.
are you such a hater? Oh,
Hey,
no.
Why
Oh,
suddenly
it's so
that you
much
feel
better
pushback-
when
now
it's
when
so
you
much
feel
better when I
any
have
pushback.
Professor X has dementia. Wouldn't that be crazy? And it's like, yeah, but I don't care about Professor X having dementia. I want to see him fight a Sentinel.
Not really.
I don't want to see him be like, "Oh, I need my medication. I'm dying, Logan.
I'm killing everybody.
Oh,
Right?
Logan,
He's
I
like
didn't
killing
realize my
everybody.
dementia killed all of the X-Men. Fuck.
If he only.
The mutants are dying. There's no more mutant. There hasn't been a mutant in 20 years, Logan.
Not only.
Stephen
only,
Merchant won't give me my pills, Logan.
Did
Stupid-ass
Magneto
movie.
die also? Yes.
I guess he did, yeah.
Isn't he? That's a bit shame. There's no point without Xavier. Without Magneto. There's no Xavier. And
He's saying
without
that's
Xavier,
why
there's no
he had a
Magneto.
mental decline is because he didn't have
Yeah.
Magneto to
Yeah.
stimulate him.
Stimulate magnetize his brain. Yeah.
Keep him young and lively. That's sad. That is quite tragic.
That's when that's when the decline happens, when you stop doing stuff, and that's what happened to Xavier in that movie.
Logan, I'm dying. The Wolverine clone killed me,
I'm so
Logan.
bored. I can't watch any more TV.
Logan, your granddaughter. Your daughter, I mean, she's
Is
very
it?
nice. You have to save her.
Is it?
X-23?
Is it X Weapon X or whatever?
She was his, not like...
Illegitimate daughter?
Well, they made her with his DNA.
Mm.
They collected his DNA and then impregnated a lady with him. And then,
Oh no!
so she is his daughter, but it's not like he had sex and conceived her.
Yeah, because
It wasn't desired, but he
can't do it.
helps and loves her nevertheless. And then remember when she turned up in the Wolverine Deadpool movie and she
dies
She was
immediately,
there and
yeah.
she like dies because the big fucking cloud eats them or whatever.
yeah, it was awesome.
It made Logan feel even more fulfilling.
Yeah,
It's like, wow, he really did save her so she could get eaten by a meta cloud.
A cloud, yeah.
That's cool, dude.
Yeah, it's great. It's all.
It's
Fuck
cool.
me.
Why was she even there? Because he goes to the Logan world, and the Logan world is still there, and his body is still, like, pinned to the tree or whatever.
Yeah.
Impaled on the tree. But she gets sent to the dimension of shouldn't exist. So what's up with that? Deadpool and Wolverine.
Because Deadpool was in the world with Logan, because he wasn't the main character. Logan was, right? That's why the world ended, because he died.
No, he's from a different X-Men world. He wasn't from the Logan world.
Is he not? When?
No,
did he...
because in the Logan world, it was like mutants didn't exist anymore. Remember?
Yeah.
It was the whole plot line of like mutants are dead and dying. There's no more mutants. But in the in Deadpool movie, Colossus is still there, and Negasonic.
Oh
Teenage
yeah,
Warhead.
right. That's right. Yeah, that's
You know?
true. Okay.
They're still there. The Logan world is different from the Deadpool one.
I don't.
But also,
know.
why did X-23 have to go to the?
Oh yeah, because
desert?
he used the
big empty
watch to
desert.
jump around. Let's stop summarizing fucking Deadpool world. What the fuck are we doing?
Thanks for listening to Deadpoolsons
Mm-hmm.
3 and Wolverine, the podcast.
What an ending
I'm
for all
Ben.
these Oscar-winning movies.
Hey man, you say that, but I'm pretty sure that Deadpool and Wolverine won like the Critics' Choice Award for comedy, just like this weekend. So hey, watch your tone, buddy. That's an award-winning film right there.
What have I made, eh?
I'm Ben. This has been Max.
Yeah, that's me.
If you'd like to contact us, you can go to deadensigns@gmail.com. Or rather, you can send an email to there. You can't go there. It's not a website. You can send an email to deadensigns.com. Deadensigns let me start over. Take 2. If you'd like to send an email to deadensigns@gmail.com, we'll give it a read and maybe talk about it on the show. But if you don't feel like sending an email, you can go to YouTube, find the show, and listen there. And added benefit of leaving a comment. But if you don't want to watch it there, you can always go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, any of those things that have podcasts. Probably find us there. And above all else, all of those places, you can like it. Probably you can do some form of subscribing or saving and some form of rating, and we'd appreciate positive ones of all of those. So until next time, bye-bye. Have a lovely week. We'll talk to you next week about Wicked, probably, and Nickel Boys. We'll watch a Nickel Boys. We'll watch a Wicked.
Why not Penny Boys, huh?
Why no Penny Boys?
Penny
And I
Boys.
guess, I mean, if there's time, we can squeeze in I'm Still Here, but if we save I'm Still Here, we can pair that with a complete unknown. We'll see. We'll play it by ear. Whatever it is next week that we're talking about is what we watched. That's how it goes.
Maybe we won't
Goodbye.
watch anything.
We might not watch anything. Maybe we'll sit on our ass and twiddle our thumbs and then come here next week and we'll be like, fuck.
Maybe we'll just lie to you. And we said we watched it, but then we'll go like, remember when this happened? When he
Remember
was a
when
complete unknown?
Elphaba got her wand out and she said, she sung the song about the flying monkeys. She said,
Yeah.
I'm allergic to water and I love my monkeys. My flying monkeys I love. I think that's how the song went. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
It's shorted out, sir. We're gonna have to phaser it.
Then what are you waiting for?
Right away, sir.
Faster would be better, Ensign.
I can't, sir. We don't want to...
That's enough.
But, sir...
Stand aside, Carlton. I'm going through.
You're alive. Good.